Man, it's been a hell of a week. What's going on, guys? It's Loaded Clips, and today I just wanted to make a quick video with you all to break down the situation that's happening, or one of the situations that's going down with the Joe Budden network. So if you're not familiar already, Joe Budden has had a lot of controversy surrounding his name in the past week or so, really the past couple of months, if we're being honest. But the most recent development is that Joe Budden was recently accused by Olivia Dope, former co-host of the See the Thing Is podcast on the Joe Budden network. He was accused of sexual harassment by her on one of the podcasts that aired a couple months ago. And yeah, man, it's not looking good. So to kind of sum up everything that's happened, Olivia says that when Joe was on their podcast, that he was making a lot of sexually inappropriate comments towards her about how he wanted to have sex with her.
This is probably why I'm single as fuck, because I don't feel like
singleness in my face. Wow, it's crazy. I thought we was about to be a network power couple.
We're not. Sorry, Joseph, we're not.
Damn it.
But this is why
he goes down the line to give everyone their accolades. He starts with Mandy. He goes to Bridget. And then once he gets to me, the scene is edited again because he says Olivia is unique because I want to fuck Olivia and the fans love her. That scene is edited out. Those words are edited out. But what's left there is me widening my eyes in shock and embarrassment because after he asked if I was okay and he said he would come back to lighten the mood, I didn't think he would once again reference to wanting to have sex with me.
There was even a hug exchange between them where Joe was kind of, gyrating his hips a little bit and made her feel a little uncomfortable. And if you know Joe, you know he's the king of gyrating. But yeah, man, all this is coming out now because Olivia put out a video on her Instagram detailing why she left the podcast, because she hadn't actually stated why up until this point. But the information is out there now, and it's causing quite the stir. So with all that being said, Joe actually has responded right now, and I can read you guys' response before I get into everything that's going on. But he just responded today on Tuesday, May 18th. And this is what he said. He says, as a podcaster, it is my job to address the topics and create dialogue around them. During the conversation on the See the Thing Is podcast, I didn't handle the topics with sensitivity they deserved. I recognize my words and power in that situation created an upsetting environment for Olivia. Upon reflection, both the network and I take accountability for this. I apologize sincerely to Olivia, her former co-hosts, our staff, and the public. In an effort to not further any trauma, the episode will be removed from all platforms. We support all women's rights to feel comfortable and protected in the workplace. We fell short of that in this instance. We support Olivia in her quest to heal, applaud her for finding the strength to share her experience, and wish her the best in all her future endeavors. I am taking time to listen and learn. We have already begun to make the necessary changes to ensure this is a safe environment for all moving forward. We at the network endeavor to continue to elevate Black women's voices and create opportunities to have constructive conversations to impact change. Woo! Let me catch my breath. So that's a response from Joe Budden. And yeah, man, it's so many different ways that you can look at this. I don't want to be the one to say that the network is imploding, but it definitely doesn't look good on that side right now, especially when you add on the additional drama of him firing Rory and Mal, them putting out a response video as to what really happened, and the fan base is kind of split right now. It's just a lot going on for Joe Budden and the network right now that it's hard to see how this ends, amicably. It just seems like it's a lot of mess right now. Ultimately, I think a lot of this is just a result of things building up over years and years and years. To me, Joe Budden strikes me as someone who genuinely has a good heart, but ego is constantly getting in the way of preventing him from reaching that top level, right? He always seems to be making good progress, and just when he's about to break a ceiling, that ego just prevents him from making the necessary steps to protect that. So in a situation like this, I think something that would prevent anything like this from ever happening, because obviously this is just something that you shouldn't do, right? You shouldn't be making advances on a woman like this, especially a woman employed on your network, right? That's just not a good look. It's not good for anybody involved, and there's nothing good that can come of that, right? So as the founder of the network, as the boss, as the CEO, as the guy who built this thing from the ground up, you have to realize that you are the boss. You are the head. You're responsible for everything that goes right and everything that goes wrong. So if all this shit implodes and goes down the drain, you're responsible. So with that being in mind, you have to take the necessary precautions to make sure that that doesn't happen. You have to put certain safeguards in place that protect you and protect your employees. You can't be on a podcast of your employees talking like this on air live.
Do you? She's Angela. She's Angela from Boomerang.
That shirt ain't Budden like she said.
Liv is Angela from Boomerang, for the record.
And a lot of the another part of this is that a lot of the talk between Joe and Olivia was edited out of the original podcast. So a lot of it we didn't see, but according to Olivia, it was a lot more of that which made her uncomfortable, which is assumingly why it got edited out. But yeah, man, if you're the boss, you just can't put yourself in that position to even have this be a conversation. You have to have HR. Honestly, I know there's been jokes on the Joe Budden podcast about Maul being HR or them needing to hire HR, but nah, y'all need to hire HR. Y'all need somebody to where if anything looks out of place, somebody has to step in and say, whoa, wait a second, this is not okay. Now, me personally, I speak from a place of really just disappointment, because, I'm someone who has been invested in Joe Budden for quite some time. I've been a fan of the podcast really since the beginning. I've gone to shows, I've bought merch, I've been listening to the guys really almost daily for the whole trip. So that's over 5-6 years that I've had these guys, as a part of my daily life. And so to see all this happening right now really just makes me kind of disappointed, very disappointed, as to how everything is going down right now. But if I'd said that I didn't see the signs, I'd really be lying, because they've been there. And Joe and his ego, and his quest to be a mogul, Joe has really dropped the ball in running an efficient business. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand the concept of, never doing this before, of building it from the ground up, somebody who's new to this. I totally understand that. But at the same time, there's basic steps that you have to follow and implement. And honestly, stuff that you've known about that you should have implemented but just chose not to. And that your co-host warned you about, because Rory has told Joe on air, Bridget has told Joe on air that, yo, you gotta have somebody else here to help delegate this shit. Like, you have to have an HR person, a manager person that helps run the day-to-day, that acts as a third party to communicate between people, because you can't do everything. You can't wear all hats. I know you want to be the boss, but you can't do everything and be everywhere at one time. One, it's going to burn you out, and two, it's making people uncomfortable, because nobody wants to talk to the boss all the time, right? Even at your job, you don't want to talk to the CEO of your job every single day. And if there's ever a problem, most people aren't going to be comfortable going straight to the CEO to talk about what their problem is. They're going to feel like their job's in jeopardy, or, it's just not a favorable situation for them. That's why you have entities like HR in place to prevent that stuff from happening, so that employees feel safe, that employees feel protected, and ultimately businesses run smoother because you don't have to blur those lines between friends and business and what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. That shouldn't even be an issue because you should have those safeguards in place. So ultimately, like I said, I'm disappointed in everything that's come out so far. I'm disappointed in the way that everything's been handled so far. Do I think that he'll eventually get it together and get back on his feet? I don't know. But, I guess we'll see, right? So, anyways, that's what's going on. I feel like I just had to make this video because there's been a lot going on this week, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it. So, let me know what y'all think also in the comments too. What's your opinion of everything that's been going on? Not just with Olivia, but with Rory and Maul too. And let's have a conversation, man. But that's going to wrap this one up. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course. This is Loaded Clips, and I'll see y'all in the next one.